What's up, everyone? On the table, there's a Honda. Apparently there's a self-propel problem. Person took it to a shop. Shop said it's just too expensive, more or less, and they were super busy, so they probably won't get it done for months, even if they were to pay for it. So, person brought it to me. Now it's here. There's some funkery going on right there. So let's see what exactly is going on. So the person said there's some type of pin that the shop said is broken. That's why it's not working. I'd hope the shop wouldn't have put that in there. Wouldn't surprise me. Some shops. Of course not. Maybe just manhand it. Nope. I really hope this isn't a sign of things to come. Oh my god, it's not even that. Maybe 3/8. I would imagine there would have to be some type of connection somewhere, and there's a pin that they were talking about. I don't know. It's in here. So what's going on in here? Oh, it spins. You know what? I think I'm going to put this on the floor and see what exactly is going on here. Yeah, we're going to take off the whole motor and hopefully take that off separate, or maybe it'll just come right out, but there's like a gear inside there actually. So this might be a whole lot of work for nothing. Remember that time I said, you know, this is a hobby, and if you do it, you probably need to limit the types of stuff that you do. This is that time when I need to take my own advice. I hate doing clutches. Nine sixteenths. The plug is disconnected. Okay. Should be a cable somewhere. Oh, there it is. That engages all this nonsense. I don't know if I really need to even worry about the cable to take off the motor. I don't quite remember. Let's see what happens. In situations like this, it's helpful to stack. This is just seized on there. needs a little help here and there. It's a day or so later, and I decided I didn't want to take a pulley or puller, actually pull on the clutch. So I put the blade on, but the bolt is out, because that usually will just fit right here. And sometimes you can just pull it off with just the blade here. Sometimes. And other times you need a puller. It's been a few days. I've been spraying the inside of it with the shaft of penetrating oil. And now I have a puller on there. So let's see if we can't get this to finally come off. I think that is the perfect size for that, so we're going to need this little adapter. You don't want to strip it out or anything. Okay. Now let's try it. That came off a lot easier than I was expecting. We're going to have some real good luck putting it back on, that's all I can say. The only thing you've seen between now and then is I just took off this plate. It was just on there, it was attached, actually it's like this, it was in there with the key. So right now I'm kind of just putting the clutch in order of how it went off. It could just look out, it comes off on there, but what's the fun in that? But this worked amazingly well. That's how you remove a stuck clutch. That is for sure. I tried the blade pulling on it now, but so that's how you remove a stuck clutch. Now we're just going to remove the rest of it. These should have springs behind them, so be careful. Yeah. They have not a very very good likelihood of it springing off hitting you in the face, but you also don't want to lose them. Now when I put this back on, I'm going to be wire wheeling everything except for the clutch material. I want to clean the metal, but not the clutch material or the mating surface to the clutch. I'm just going to clean it. I'm not going to wire wheel that. Okay, let me put this back on our stack. We have this. Okay, good. You don't want to lose these little ball bearings, but that is something I'll be cleaning. Okay. Now this plate, I believe, just come off. Oh, we need to remove the clutch cable first. So removing the clutch cable can be a little treacherous on this one, but it's pretty dirty. Usually, if you can find something pry up on or turn this. Yeah, we'll have to turn that. Sometimes it's better not to work harder, but just work smarter. I just disconnect the clutch cable on the handle. Why potentially hurt ourselves, you know? But that spring right here is not going to be fun. Oh, I forgot there's two of them. Okay, well, that is the clutch process. Now we need to remove our engine, so I'm going to disconnect all the cables from the engine and take it from there. So the only thing I had to disconnect was a throttle cable. So something I do want to bring up is this is an old engine, hence the reason why we had to use a puller just to take off the clutch. You don't want to go in there all hot and heavy with, you know, a big impact and just potentially break the bolt. So if I have any type of hard resistance, I'm going to put this on a breaker bar and do it manually. But let's see what we have here. It's a 1/2 inch. Not too bad. It sounds like it is, but my finger is barely even on the trigger. Yeah, they're not too bad, but they have their wear, don't get me wrong. I think this has 4. Here's the other one. I like to do the bottom ones first, that way you're not putting stress on the bottom. That one is not doing us any justice doing that, so we're not going to continue. Let's just take this one out. There we have it. Let's try this one more time. No, it's just like stripping. That's not something we want to happen. I'm going to get a different bit. Duh, it's probably a 12mm. That's why it's stripping. Let's give this a go again. And exactly what I thought. I'll have to tap that one. Okay, now I have to hold it. It's gonna fall. Okay. Now that drive rod is holding it up. So I cleaned it up a little bit, cleaned off the sludge on here, blew off the grass, majority of it. Let's take off these bolts and it's not a 10 millimeter. Never had this particular engine apart, this type, but, and we are leaking gas too. If you are ever in a situation when you are leaking fuel, tip it over, take a trash bag, Walmart bag, whatever, and you're going to open the fuel tank and shove the bag in and then close the lid around it. I don't know if we have to take these off. I'm hoping not, but we might have to. And these are not wanting to come off very easily as well. We might have to get the socket wrench out, but let's see. Wow. Not a single one is wanting to come off right now. Oh, there we go. At least we have one. There we go. Maybe the other ones just got word that you could come out. Not that one. Oh, I lost the memo too. Okay, I have to get a socket. So I'm not 100% sure on how I cut myself, but I just did. So, got those loose. Let's just take them out now. Really hoping I don't have to take out these. I was gonna fight her from the beginning to end. So you don't get it shaken off. I'm just gonna tap it off. Finally got it off. So let's take a look at what we have going on here. This gear was just chilling in there, but I think that might have just came off and actually pulled the rod out. So a few washers and whatnot here. There's this. There's this. And we have our problem. A cotter pin. That would make sense. I found this when it came out too. Boom. So this actually just had a cotter pin put in there. Seems a little odd to me. Why would they just put a cotter pin? I mean, I know it should be shearable. That's for sure. You don't want this to not be shearable. Why a cotter pin? Unless it's happened before and that was someone's attempt to fix it. Because I'm looking at the rest of it, I don't really see much of anything else. No. That looks fine. So, I think we will just do the same. Other than that, everything looks pretty clean. I mean, yeah, it needs a oil change. Which reminds me, I took out the oil before I undid the bolts. I just completely forgot to mention that. Whenever you open it up, I hope it's self-explanatory enough that you don't want oil in the engine. So knowing that this person uses or goes to a different location sometimes for work, I decided to look up the exact diagram of how this ends up working, and this is what I found. And if you look right there, there it is, a cotter pin. So I'm going to try to find out where exactly this came from. 'Cause that, unless it's right here. Here. I don't know. Unless it's on the governor somehow. Doesn't really make sense. I'm going to take a look at the diagram again and just kind of see if I can find what that piece is. So apparently it's some type of rubber oil return. So I'm not going to worry about it right now. Let's put this in. Now this is going to run off the actual crankshaft. So that means we need to find out the orientation of this. So if it's like right here, no, that wouldn't work. Maybe it doesn't run off the actual crankshaft. Does it run off the camshaft? What does this thing run off of? Well, I guess it would have to run off the camshaft. Then, how does it fit on said camshaft? Because if it's like this, let me do some research on this one. So the gear will be the same no matter what. So let's just put the first washer in. It does run off like a special weird little addition off the crankshaft, or camshaft, excuse me. I have a feeling this is not going to be one of those things I'm going to want to repeat. Then we have the other washer. That looks a little bent. Let me fix that. So I've got the other washer back in. Now I just have to figure out. Okay, so now it's running. That's good. But then, where's that little key go? I do not see where the hole is anymore. Okay, well, take it out and look. Oh, it's right there. So I found this key to see if it would even work. Yeah, it's big enough. So I'm gonna mess with that. Your battery's blinking, so I'm gonna finagle all that together and bring you back. So next day, I went to the hardware store, got another clip. I'm pretty sure I was saying cotter pin earlier. These are not cotter pins. I don't know why I was thinking that. But after an exhausted search of where this goes, it goes right there. And trust me, you will not find this on YouTube, of where it goes. I'm not really sure why, but that's where it goes. So this one is a tad smaller, so hopefully it fits in there a little easier. May have to persuade it a little bit. persuasion is necessary. I like commercial machines, don't get me wrong, but this has got to be one of the dumbest things I've seen in a commercial machine in a long time. This clip just seems like it's a failing point, but it moves and it's pretty free. So the other end's a little greasy, so it's a little hard for me to really hold on to it, but everything seems to be pretty good. Not too worried about it. It will. One of the problems was that the end was actually getting caught up on the washer itself, so I had to go over to the bench grinder, kind of put like a fine tip on it, and then I was able to press it in. So that's should be good now. So I'm going to scrape off this gasket, put on a new one, and probably some black silicone to accompany it, because it's just, I like to do that mainly. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the bottom back on. For whatever reason, I can't really find a spec for mounting it. A lot of them say 10 foot-pounds or 120 inch-pounds. That doesn't seem unreasonable to me, so I'll probably do that. It's nothing really all that difficult. I'm just going to put it back on and we'll put the engine back on. We might want to redo the governor. It might need to be adjusted. Sometimes when you take off the bottom, they just have a tendency of needing that final bit of adjustment. But I'll go ahead and put it on and bring it back. So I put my drill on there just to kind of show that it's freely moving and my hands aren't greasy or anything that's causing a problem. It works pretty good both ways, so I'm happy with that. So yet again, I'll put it back on. So, helpful tip. This is the rod that was connected to the engine. This part goes over, this is just a little boot. There is a little pin that goes in there. It's greased, so it shouldn't be corroded or anything. And this is on top of it. In order to actually get this piece into the corresponding part on the transmission, you have to take this off, put the motor on, and then put this in, and then connect this to the engine. It's a giant pain, trust me. You're not going to get it any other way if you do buy a lottery ticket, because you are one lucky person. Inside that little crevice is where we need to put this, but we need to put this clip on somewhere first. I'm just gonna maybe put it right there. That's where it was when I took it off. And then we have to find our way through here. I have a feeling this is not going to be easy no matter what. It's pretty grimy. Yeah, I'm going to have to mess with that. So under closer examination, see how there's a ridge here that doesn't have like an actual hole, or it doesn't have like a cutout. There's a flat spot. When you find the flat spot, it makes this a whole lot easier. So, I don't like to say bad things about other people's machines, but this is by far the worst I've worked on in a long time. Everything was harder than it rightfully should have been. Reconnecting that little joint, putting that pin in, finding a way to do that. Even putting the gasket on was hard. I spent like a good 30 minutes with a wire wheeling off the old one. But putting negativity aside, let's just see what happens. that did it. I don't see any leaking or anything, so I think we should be set. I'm probably going to keep it in the garage overnight just to make sure. But other than that, I think that's it. So if you have a joint on the Honda HRC 216 that's not spinning, this is the reason why, most likely. So hopefully you found this informative. Also, if you have a stuck clutch, we've discovered that. So have a good rest of your evening. Put a thumbs up if this helped you. I will see everyone later. Definitely subscribe. That helps me out a lot. Have a good evening.